I have boundaries.
All right. Hey, welcome to our first kickoff call of this Diamond Push group. Put your hands up if you're excited. Yeah. Dude, yes, I'm pumped up. So you guys get me on fire today. I just did a team call for Julie Voris. So I just came off of one. She spoke for our team last Thursday. So we traded that favor. I just got off with her team. So I'm all fired up. Now it's I got to switch gears from what I was talking about there over to here. But the cool thing about this business is a lot of it's the same stuff, right? Have you guys noticed that? A lot of the things we're talking about is the same thing. So we're gonna provide a ton of valuable content throughout the next 16 trainings or 8 weeks. The end goal, obviously, is not just to get you guys to Diamond, because I've seen people get to Diamond and then stop running, and it kind of falls apart. So the goal is to create a solid foundation for you guys that'll last long term. Raise your hand if you want something that lasts a long time for you guys, right? That's what I want as well. I would just listen to Eric Thomas. I listen to that every morning. That's the start of every single one of my workouts. So if you guys are ever wondering, how is Scottie fired up about his work every single day and his purpose as a Beachbody coach, it's because I'm listening to that stuff. I'm filling my mind with that stuff every single day. I'm the guy, when I wake up, I'm seeing here Nate Taylor was at our Beachbody Man retreat. I'm a quiet, laid-back guy that likes to be alone. So to be able to come here and do this, I have to create that. I can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait to feel expired. I don't want to be expired anytime soon. I can't wait to be inspired. I can't wait until I feel like it. You've got to get yourself into that state. And, Tony Robbins will talk about that all the time, about how to get into state. And that's the thing that's going to help you be more efficient in your work. One of you guys on here, for example, could work 12 hours, be grinding like Eric Thomas says for 12 hours, and somebody else could come in 2 hours in the right mindset, in the right state, and do more work than you do in 12 hours in the wrong mindset. So I'm going to help you guys understand a little bit of that as I can today, to help you guys be more efficient as you're going towards this goal. But I'm super pumped up. I'm super excited. Usually when I start any type of call or training, I talk about my story. We're not going to do that. You guys are on our team and have heard it a million times. I just barely told it to Julie's team. But I want you guys to know that as you go for this, you're going to get a ton of information, a ton of information, a ton, everything I feel you need to build a successful business. So what I want you to get in the mindset of right now is you don't have to start doing every single thing that you hear during this training, because you're going to be overwhelmed and you won't have enough time to do that. I want you to know the things that you should start doing over the next course of your career, right? Over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, that you have all this training and stuff to help you guys expand. But it's important that you stay focused on the basics. And I'm going to simplify this for you guys right now as we go into it, and then we'll go into some mindset stuff. Diamond is just a decision, okay? And you'll notice I changed the name from Push to Diamond to Elevate to Diamond. So, push to me sounds hard. I'm not going to say Beachbody coaching is not hard, because there's a lot of hard. Dealing with people is hard, right? Think of it I always relating it to things. Raising kids is hard. They're little humans that don't understand everything yet. So that's hard. So the same thing with Beachbody coaching. Now Beachbody coaching is dealing with humans, but that already have a mindset that they've developed over time that you have no control over, right? So it is a hard thing to do. I want you guys to understand that part of it, but it's not that hard. There's a lot of things I could say would be harder than becoming a Diamond coach. And what I want you guys to know is the bigger picture. I want you to visualize right now the staircase, or let's say a 100-story building, okay? You got a 100-story building and there's 100 flights of stairs. Diamond is getting to the top of the first flight of stairs. Okay? That's what Diamond is. So, if I think about my business, I went Diamond without knowing what Diamond was until really 2 months in. I started, and I knew I was going to hit Success Club 10 every month, because Lindsay told me if I did that every month, I could bring my wife home in a year. That she believed that goal monthly would be enough to replace my wife's income. Also, it meant that I could take her on a trip to Atlantis to celebrate that with a Success Club trip. So like, I didn't understand everything about Diamond, Emerald, compensation plan, all of this stuff, but I knew that Success Club 10 monthly equaled bringing my wife home and going on a free trip. So I believed, because of how much Beachbody changed my life, like the workouts, starting to drink Shakeology, the way that it felt to have like Lindsay just recognize me saying, hey, Scottie's doing awesome with his workouts and he's a new coach. I'm like, this feels good to be accepted into something, right? And so I felt everybody should feel like that everybody should have that feeling. So in my mind from the very beginning, everybody should be a Team Beachbody coach. So I want you guys to think about this real quick. If somebody drinks Shakeology, does their workout, does personal development, improves their life through personal development, audios and books, and let's just say they don't even invite people and build a business, but they connect with positive people like all 50 of you guys that are on this call, will their life become better? Raise your hand if you think their life will be better. I think so. So with that being asked, who should you invite to become a Team Beachbody coach and be a part of your team? Everybody. Everybody. And then your role as a leader and a business entrepreneur as a Beachbody coach, because you guys are here because you want to build a business, your role is to love everybody and accept from them for what part of the journey they're in, and then know which ones want more out of it, right? Like you. And then you mentor, if someone's just in it for the health and fitness and doesn't really want to build a business, you don't want to try to push your goals on them to make them an emerald or a diamond. You help them with what they want and what they're in this for. And then you identify the ones that are like you that want the business. And then you help mentor them to become business owners, entrepreneur mindset in your business. So with that being said, I have a task for you to do. And because I have a lot I want to cover, I'm not going to be silent like I wanted to and have you do this. I want you guys to get out a piece of paper. You should have your notes right now. You're writing this down, right? One of your tasks that you're going to do is you're going to make a list of 100 people that have not heard your story of why you're a coach and what you're going to do with this thing. 100 people. And then the next task is over the next week, because we're in a 1Elevate to Diamond fast group, right? Like we got like 7 weeks. You're going to set up a phone call with them where you can share your passion. You could ask them questions about their life, what they're going through, find your way to connect with them and relate with them, and share your message and why you're a coach and why and how you can help them achieve their goals or whatever it is they're struggling with. Okay? So that's a task I'm going to have you do leaving this call, is your list of 100. And then you're going to start, and I don't want if you don't have their phone number, if you have their phone number right now, I don't even want you to mess around on Facebook with them. I want you to text them and find a time that you can call them for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And don't think about a sale. Don't think about recruiting them. Find out what they need, share with them, invite them. Your job is not to sell them. Your job is to make sure that they know that they know that you have something to help them with if they have a struggle, and that they know where you're going. Because that's the one thing I think about. I don't want any of my friends or family or cousins or people I run into to one day say to me, Scottie, I was struggling at my job looking for an answer, and you never told me that I could do that thing that you're doing. I don't want anybody to say that to me. So I want you guys to take that same mindset as well and make it fun. It's not, if someone tells you no, that's okay. Like, that's totally okay. And I think I got that mindset. I adapt. If you haven't had that mindset and you need to adapt that, know that that's okay, but make that one of your goals. Like, I was a missionary for my church, so I was okay with getting no. Like, I learned that earlier, that I had a message to share. I knocked on doors. I got told no all day long, right? So that I wasn't afraid of that. So you got to get into a point where you're not afraid of somebody that doesn't accept what you're doing right now. That's okay. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work for you. So with that being said, that's one of your tasks leaving this call today. What I said right before I led into that is Diamond is just a decision. Okay. Like I said, I invited everybody to become a coach. I had 13 coaches on my team when Lindsay said, hey, you're like a step away from Diamond. Like, do you know how to do that? And I was like, oh, let's figure this out. What do I got to do? And then she helped me understand I needed 4 on each side with 2 emeralds. So you see, I didn't understand any of that. I just understood that everybody should be a part of Beachbody because of how awesome I felt. So I recruited 13 coaches in my first 90 days, but I didn't know what I was doing. But every one of those people knew that I had some programs that could help them get healthier and that I was willing to help them so that I could bring my wife home from work. So that was the story and the message I was sharing. So what I want you guys to understand about that is, like, you're going to get all this training and stuff, but don't get so caught up in just training yourself and learning all these things and not taking action, not having these phone calls and these conversations with people about your team. That's why I want you to do this list of 100 people and to start sharing with them or start setting up phone calls with them. Is that clear? Does that make sense what I want you guys to do with that? Okay. And what we can do throughout the group is, if needed, we can share some of our diamonds that are helping run this group. We have pre-recorded like coach opportunity webinars or shorter videos introducing Beachbody. Just feel free to ask in the group, like, hey, what's a great video? Like, they want more info. I don't know what to say. What's something I could send? Ask us, because we have hundreds of videos that we could help you send that can help with that. So with that being said, I'm gonna lead off with a story of one of my brand new coaches. Actually, before I lead out, I'm going to show you guys something. Right on that same piece of paper, I want you to draw yourself a little diagram. Like, here's a diagram. See me at the top, and then I have 2 legs, right? So I just want to be very clear that you guys all know what Diamond Coach is. Like, number 1, it's a decision that you're going to do it. And number 2, it's the basics of it is, you're active coach yourself, obviously. And then you have 4 active coaches that are personally sponsored on your left, 4 active coaches that are personally sponsored on your right. Okay. And then 1 of those on each side is an emerald. So the cool thing also, if you have a spouse, they should be a coach on your team right now, if they're not. And you're going to help them go emerald as well. They don't have to do the business themselves. You help them, you work together, and you can sponsor those coaches for your spouse. Like, make it a team effort. So always important that you write down your goals. Like, this is mine. This is my plan for my 15-star diamond. The same thing will go for your emerald. Make sure that your goals are written out. Okay. So I'm going to share a message, and I'm calling Justin out a little bit. I believe he's on. I don't know if he's on here live, but Justin is a brand new coach as of this month. So he's not even 8 days in. He signed up on the 1st. But I invited him to listen to our team calls, to come to our team trainings before he was a coach. Because our job's not to sell them, it's to educate them on what we have and let them choose for themselves. So he was listening to our calls to see if this is something he wanted to do. On day 1, because he'd been watching our calls and started to apply what we did, he became an emerald coach. He signed his first 2 coaches on his first day. So then he went emerald on Thursday. And he's at Success Club 6 right now, and he's 8 days into his business, okay? So I'm using him as an example because I asked him in our team page, like, what's your secret? I think, how do I say it? Like, what's your secret or something? Any tips for somebody wanting to advance, rank, and hit Success Club? So the end purpose of this group is, yes, create the right mindset, which I'll call the entrepreneur mindset, to build your business and become a leader. But the end goal, right, is to hit Success Club, because you have to recruit coaches to your team to be a diamond. So you have to hit Success Club, recruit coaches, but then also you need to advance and rank, which will come as a result of you recruiting these coaches and then also teaching your coaches to hit emerald and recruit their coaches as well, right? So that's the simplicity of going to diamonds, just making that decision. Like, we're going to train you on a lot of stuff, but that's the focus. So the more conversations you have, the more people you're going to find that are ready right now, and the rest will be seeds planted that will come later. So I'm going to read his advice to you as a brand new coach, 8 days in on advancing rank. And him and I had this phone conversation, and he's like, that's perfect. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. So it says, for somebody wanting to advance in rank and hit Success Club, they need to do 4 things. I'm repeating this because there really could be like 50 things. Like, when we're a new coach, we're like, there's like 5,000 things I need to learn, right? He's simplifying it for us. There's 4 things: set goals, stay focused, make sure you're using the 3 vital behaviors, and don't be afraid of no. Those are the 4 things to advance rank and hit Success Club according to a new coach, right? Somebody that's fresh into this, that's seen success. And he said, this is what I did. When I decided I was going to get started, I knew, capital letters, what I wanted for myself for the next 5 months. I wanted to be on a call with the CEO, which you get for hitting Success Club your first month. I want to hit Diamond, and I want to go to Summit. And then he says, so I figured out what I needed to happen so I could achieve those things and set little mini goals, and I set them with high expectations. I knew I needed to hit, let me move this, I can't move that over. I knew I needed to hit Success Club 5 before the end of March in order to talk to the CEO, so I set myself a goal of hitting SC5 by my 3rd day. Did it happen? No, but I still did not give up because I had to do what it takes to get there. That's how it's going to go for Diamond as well. I want to be Diamond by the 23rd of March. He just signed up on the 1st of March. So 23-day goal, right? And I'm working hard to achieve it. I know that I need personally sponsored 8 coaches. That's like hitting Emerald 4 times. See how he's breaking this down for you? He hit Emerald in his first day. So he's realizing that Diamond is I have to hit Emerald 4 times, which means he sponsors 8 coaches. So he has to do what he did already 3 more times. Is this simplifying things a little bit for you on how easy this can be once you make the decision? So I know that if I can just do that 4 times and it helped at least 2 coaches do what I did, then I know that I will be a Diamond coach. I am not going to stop until I achieve my goal. I'm focused. What also helps is from day 1, I started inviting people to my challenge group. One of them asked me yesterday about being a coach. In my opinion, running challenge groups is powerful because you can convert your challengers into coaches. They're already drinking Shakeology, they love their workout, and they get a 25% discount. One other thing is it's important that I mentioned before is don't be afraid of no. I'm learning this by reading GoPro by Eric Worre. For me personally, with past experience, I was always attached with the outcome. More like I was afraid of people telling me no. You can't get discouraged by people telling you no. It's not their time, but remember, you planted that seed, so they're going to be watching you, and one day they'll come back and tell you they are ready. I started thinking about it this way. Every no is one more closer to a yes. So I remember, number 1, set goals. Number 2, stay focused. Number 3, use the 3 vital behaviors every single day. And number 4, don't be afraid of no. Is that not some awesome advice for you guys to hit Diamond? Like pretty simple, right? So as you hear everything, like we have the top leaders on this team sharing you like everything from how to use Instagram, Facebook, like pages, running ads, doing blogs, doing YouTube videos, what tags do you use? Like all of this stuff, how to run a challenge group, how to start your coaches effectively. All these topics are going to be given to you. But think of those as like if you're a builder, you have a toolkit. Think of them as your tools, right? Think of them as your tools, and they're all available to you. But if you just like grab all your tools and just walk up to the building, you're not going to be able to really do anything, right? You're going to be holding this big pile of tools, and nothing's going to happen. So get the tools that you need for your main focus right now, and use them, and then know that you have all these tools to continue expanding after you hit that goal. Okay? So with that being said, I want you guys to know that I get this is what I love about a Elevate to Diamond group. You guys are serious about this. You guys, you didn't invest that much, $20 for a cash pot. Not too much, right, to split between. But raise your hand if you want to take part of getting that cash pot, right? That's going to be cool. I mean, that could pay for your room at Summit. It could help for your flight to get to Summit. So add that to your goal if it's not on there. But what you're going to get from it, better than that, is you are going to have a story of how you went Diamond, what shifted in your mind, what actions you took, so that you can teach that to somebody else. And that's what builds this business, is you going before other people and showing them the way, and then coming back and saying, this is how I did it. And so I'm just going to give you a couple examples, because this business is all about a transference of belief. Like once you see someone else has done something and you can relate to them, you believe it's possible for you, and then you take the right actions. That's all it is. And so, for example, my Diamond, for any of those, like I said, was 93 days, but it could have been faster if I would have known that I needed 4 coaches on each side in an Emerald, that's what it meant. the real reason that I went diamond in the beginning is because Lindsay told us we got one more point in our team cup when I advanced rank, right? So I was like, well, tell me how to do that. Let's get another point for our team cup. So if you know ahead of time what it is, then you can get focused on the activities that are going to get you there to that. So if I were to start right now, so I know you guys are asking this right now. Well, Scottie, tell me right now, if you had 2 coaches on your team, what would you do right now to make sure that you're diamond by the end of this month or within 4 weeks? What would you do? And this is what I would do. I would listen to personal development all flipping day long on YouTube or Audible, all day long, like 10 hours a day. I'd crank it while I'm in the shower, while I'm brushing my teeth, in the car. It would be going while I'm making dinner. It would be going on the Bluetooth speaker while I'm wrestling with the kids, because the mindset's got to be in the right spot continuously. So I do that. Then next, I would write down every single person's name that I know. And then I would work on setting an appointment for them. I see Megan and Scott Gutke here. Like they're like my first challenge group back in 2011. Like, well, I went to their house. We did like a share with Shakeology with them. I shared my message with them in person, and I invited them in person to join my team as a coach. And they said, well, we already got P90X. And I was like, well, you need to get a challenge pack and invest in yourself and sign up as a coach with your challenge pack, right? So that's what I would do, is I would make a list of people, and I would get on the phone with them. I would do a video chat with them. I would go meet them for coffee or lunch or whatever, and I would find out what they need, and then I would tell them your why and your reason for doing this and ask them to be a part of this with you. So that's what I would do right now. So how many of you guys are willing to start doing that right now? Okay, and I'm going to ask you guys a question real quick. By raise of hand, and this is going to lead into the most important part of you guys being successful in this, is I can't see all of you guys because we have 3 screens full of people, but I can see the first screen. Raise your hand, and I want you guys to be 100% honest, because remember, the truth shall set you free. So raise your hand if you do 15 minutes of personal development a day. Yes. Okay. Keep it up. And if you, like, I'm going to keep raising the amount of minutes. And if you don't do that much, lower your hand. So how many of you do an hour a day? Hour and a half a day? 2 hours a day? 3 hours a day? 4 hours a day? I like this. 5 hours a day? Boom. Look at this. 6 hours a day. Amy, my dad is going to be so proud of you. 6 hours a day. Okay. Hey, Amy, I'm going to ask you a question real quick. And I remember Amy, my dad worked with Amy. Amy is my dad's first coach. Amy didn't want to share her story in the beginning, get it out there, talk about parts of her story, and now she is. Amy, how many coaches do you have?
I have 3 now. 3
coaches now. And this is from Amy, who wasn't sure if she could build a business or help anybody. And this has happened in the past month, where she's got her first 3 coaches started. And it's because she's on a weekly call with me for new coaches. So she is getting this personal development, how much you're supposed to be doing all the time. But that's why she's at where she's at. And why I know she's going to be a diamond in this group, because she's doing that amount. I'm going to tell you guys, remember, success leaves clues. I did over 10 hours a day in my first year. Okay? 10 hours a day. So no matter how hard it got at times, people are like, how did you know what to say to people, or what scripts do you use? I used whatever came to my mind from that 10 hours of personal development. For some reason, whatever question came to me, or whatever objection or conversation I had with that person at coffee, or that I wrote, on Facebook and set up a phone appointment, and they had something that I could help them with, it was always from my personal development. So that's why that's so important. But it's also important that you, diamond is you have to grow. If you haven't become a diamond yet, which is you guys, and the steps are easy to get there, but what I don't want is for you to get there without actually being a diamond. Now let me explain myself. It's you could easily right now go to 8 people that trust you with all your, they're good lifelong friends, and you can sign them up, right? and a couple of them, you can have them sign up their spouse and a son or daughter, and you can be a diamond coach. You can do that in like 7 days if you wanted to, right? But does that mean you like have the diamond leadership or mindset to be a leader for your team? No. So you've got to grow into that person as well. So make sure that you're always growing into that person. So like right now, if you don't feel you can be there, just know that you can grow into that leadership role, and that comes through your personal development and surrounding yourself with people that have done it. So what I want you guys to know, I'm going to give you guys a couple other examples. I had a couple coaches last year in this group go diamond. You know, they started prior to the group. So from the day they signed up, they're like a month in, joined the group. I had 2 of them go diamond in 42, one in 42 days and one in 45 days. You know, the group was what helped push them into that. I had one of my coaches last year go diamond in 6 days, signed up, joined the group. And so it's like somebody that, let's say they signed up yesterday, they joined the group and they became a diamond in 6 days. They did exactly what I told them to do. And they're thriving today. They're coming on the cruise with us. We're leaving in 3 days for the Beachbody cruise, but they started in this group last year. And now they're hitting Success Club 20 in both accounts. It's like a husband, wife, a fiance team. They both go for Success Club 20 every month, almost 1-star diamond, going on the cruise with us in 3 days. But they started with going diamond in this group in 6 days. And literally they spent all day setting phone appointments and talking to people about their why and their vision, why they're doing this. And that's how they got there. But the reason they're still at where they're at and thriving, guess how many books he read last year? 52 books in the year. So what I'm saying about that is that's what's possible. That's like the 4-minute mile. If you've heard the story of Bannister, when he runs the 4-minute mile, and now a few thousand people have run the 4-minute mile, including teenagers. That's what I feel happens when somebody like that, you know, goes diamond in 6 days, or we had another coach do it in 13 days. You know, that is what it does. It increases that belief that it's possible, like what's possible for you guys to do as well. So I want you guys to know that. But once you do that, you've got to do massive amounts of personal development on top of that, because if not, you're going to hit a roadblock and then stop, and it's going to fall apart. Okay. So we don't want that. We want you to grow into the leader that can help these people achieve their goals. And that's the number one thing that Carl wants from us as well in this company, is that we help people get results. So now when he says help people get results, who's the first person we got to help get results? Yourself. And so not many people mention this, but I'm going to talk about the 3 vital behaviors as a very selfish thing. But it's a good thing. How many of you guys before Beachbody or in your life right now take time for yourself? Like, I see Amy does. Look at that's why she's thriving, right? You got to take some time to yourself. And that's like, if you can't help yourself first, you're never going to be able to help somebody else. That's why they talk about on the plane, when the oxygen thing comes down and you have a child with you, you put it on yourself first and then on your child next. So you guys, to hit this goal, you're going to have to be very focused. Like if I post something, and you guys are going to get a little upset right now, if I post something in the Diamond group or my PS group or my team page group or my challenge group, and I see that you immediately like it or comment on it, I know you're not focused on your goal. I see it. I'm like, they're not focused. They're not focused on a task. They're on Facebook waiting for something to happen, and then they respond to it, right? That's the truth. And so you've got to get focused. And that's why my coaches know, like they could text me. I'll show you right now. I've got 18 unanswered text messages, right? How many of you guys, if you had that, would drive you a little bit crazy right now? I haven't even looked at them. Like I'll open it up. One's a prospect, even telling me what time he can meet for lunch tomorrow. It's not going to get answered right now because I'm focused on this task right now of helping develop new leaders on the team. How would you guys feel? How would you guys like it if I was here trying to teach you guys something and I was like, without you guys knowing, had my phone over here and trying to text him like, yeah, that works. I'll meet you tomorrow at noon. You would feel that I didn't value your time, right? In some sort of way, if you could tell I was doing something not focused on you guys. So it's important that you guys get focused on your tasks. So Eric Thomas talks about this, and I was blasting some Eric Thomas before, and Gabby and I talk about it all the time. Like, Gabby will come in to my office with like a joke or a video, and I'll turn to her in like a joking way because we listen to the same personal development. I'll be like, I'm working. That's like, but we say it like that in a joking way because we both listen to Eric Thomas every day. And it talks about, you've got to like, so I'm an entrepreneur, right? And that's what we're going to create for you guys. And a lot of people think that being a CEO or entrepreneur means you could do whatever you want with your time. And that's not the truth. It's not the truth at all. You've got to be very focused if you want to be that person. And so like when I'm at work, and it's communication, right, between my spouse and I, and my coaches understand it, and I try to teach them that the best. Like when I'm working, I'm working. Even my best friends, if my best friends, I see Megan Gutke on here, if Scott texts me, he knows a lot of times I probably won't even respond for 6 hours. He's used to that now. And the reason is because I'm working. He's one of my best friends. Garrett texted me last night. He's one of my best friends. I didn't even answer it until like an hour ago, and he texted me last night because I'm focused on when I'm in this, I'm in this. I'm working. I'm doing my personal development. I'm trying to be creative on how to attract new people, how to help teach current coaches how to achieve their goals better. And I'm focused on building relationships with my prospects. So you've got to get focused on your tasks and get those done very first. And I learned that early, thankfully, to Brendan Bouchard. And he says that your inbox or your Facebook messages or your text or your phone is, I can't remember exactly what he called it, but what happens with, like, I bet 99% of the people on this call even, is that the minute you open that up, you spend the rest of your day responding to other people's problems, and you don't get anything done for yourself. So if you want to know how we've hit Success Club 10 for 59 months in a row, it's because I'm focused. I don't look at anything until I complete my most important tasks. And I'll tell you what they are. Personal development. Then I write a post on Facebook or my blog teaching my personal development. Then I do my workout while listening to personal development. Then I make a video teaching my personal development. Then I get on and I reach out and I start 5 new conversations a day. And then that's at the point where I'm like, okay, now I can take on whatever I need to do. I can go into go in and check on my groups. I can do my follow-up list with my prospects, and then I can go in and answer all the rest of my messages. And I won't start answering text or Facebook message or anything until I'm done with those original first tasks. And you may think those, right? I said that those are just basically my 3 vital behaviors with one little added thing of teaching other people what I'm learning. Teaching other people what I'm learning. But that's what attracts people to want to work with me, because they see that value that I'm adding and giving to them every single day. So it's important. If you want to become a diamond, you can't be responding to Facebook messages and emails and texts all day long. Like if I put in, hey, here's a great video by Eric Thomas, and I see one of you guys in there like, oh, awesome. I've been waiting for that next little piece of nugget. Like, you're not working on your business. You're not focused on anything, because you're waiting for something. You're waiting to respond to something. So to be an entrepreneur, you've got to take ownership of your time. We all have the same amount of time. So you got to take ownership of that time and know what your most important tasks are to take you to your end goal. So just like Justin Vincent shared here, he dialed in, like, even though there's all this stuff, like I got my new Coach Basics group. He's coming into this group. I got the Team Dynasty page. I got my group with Scottie, the personal sponsored page. Like, he has all these things he could do, but he dialed in 4 things that he has to do every single day as his first thing. So that's what it's going to be for you guys. You've got to really work on that. And it really is an addiction. Okay. Because I can understand that. It took, like, I'm telling you this because I'm teaching you from my experience. I'll tell you from experience of what happened for me. I went in pretty focused because I was exhausted with time, and I hit Success Club 10 in my first month. I hit Success Club 10 in my second month. The third month, I hit Success Club 35. And do you want to know how I did that? I worked together in a team cup with my coach, Lindsay. And in that time is when I started writing down things, writing down every name of every person I was talking to. I started making follow-up lists. In the first 2 months, I would just go into my inbox and I would just start writing people and responding to people. And that's what I thought work was, is just going into my Facebook inbox and answering questions and starting new conversations. And if someone responded, I would respond back. And if they respond back, I would type them back. And it was like all day long, I was just messaging people. And it was so exhausting. And I felt like I worked 24 hours a day. And I already worked 12 hours a day at my job and was watching my kids by myself while my wife was at work. And it was exhausting. And then I realized what I was doing is I was always just responding to other people's problems, and I wasn't creating something for me and staying focused on what I needed to do first before I started responding to that. So even today, one tip I want to give you guys to be able to do more, reach more people, which is what you guys need to do to build your team, to recruit for your team, to be the example for your coaches on what to follow, is like when I do let's say I do all that stuff I talked about at the beginning, right? Those 4 things, like basically the vital behaviors plus teaching it on a Facebook or blog post and on a YouTube video. Then when I get started on my follow-up list, I've usually, just so you understand what I have in a day, I usually have about 80 unanswered messages in my Facebook, plus an email of about 20. So it's like 100 messages. What I know most people do is they go in and start responding to those. I go to my list of prospects and I continue the conversation and I go through every one. So here's what happens. So I have Emily, Dusty, Ross, Leslie, Rosanna, Devin, Regine as my first ones today. So when I go do it, like I'll write Emily and I'll do a follow-up. I'll write Dusty and I'll do a follow-up. I'll write Leslie, I'll do a follow-up. All of a sudden Emily responds, right? I don't even look at it. And then I go to my next one. I write Devin, I do a follow-up. Then I write Regine, I do a follow-up. Then I do write Jamie, I do a follow-up. And then maybe Rosanna and Regine respond. And I see it come in one new message. I don't even look at it because I'm focused on reaching out to all these new people and continuing that relationship. Then when I finish that, then I go in and respond to everything all the way through. And you might wonder, how can you respond to 100 messages? When the notification pops up that Chris Pinkston commented in Team Dynasty, I don't click it. If Lindsay Matway posts in the Dynasty wall of leaders, if it says a little notification pops up on the side, Lindsay posted in Team, I don't click on it. I stay focused on my current task. And what I do, so that you guys know, when I get done answering all those messages, when I get back, does this make sense? So I hit unread and I scroll all the way to the bottom, the last, the one that's been waiting the longest, answer, all the way up to the top until I get to one of my follow-ups that I just barely did. And I won't respond. I'll stop right there, and that's going to be the first message I answer the next day. Does that make sense of what I'm doing on that? And so that way I'm not, because if not, I'm just going to be writing back and forth, and I'm not going to reach as many people. And it's going to take a minute if you're used to always doing it, because people may be used to you responding, but people know that it takes me 24 hours to respond now. Like, I've created that. And how many of you guys in 5 years, when you have a team of 43,000, want 100 messages that you're answering all day long on your phone in your Facebook? Does that sound like a dream job? No. So I would start the habit now of getting focused and staying dialed in on that. And it's like an addiction. How many of you guys right now walk from room to room in your house with your cell phone in your hand? You can put it down sometimes, okay? But then when you do work, like, get in and work. Get in and give it 10 times. And if you can do that, if you can give yourself that time to yourself before, when you create your posts, you're going to have more valuable content. And I don't swear often, but Brendan Bouchard, he says, like, if you don't do that, what happens is you give all of your energy that you could give to the world to the energy-sucking vampire bitches. That's what he says. If you're always responding to people, like, you're giving all of your energy away before you can put it out to help and inspire other people. So honestly, like, I get a ton of positive feedback and stuff in like, you inspired me and thanks for that post, but there's some negative stuff once in a while, or a coach that thinks their business is going to crap and they're complaining to you and I don't think this is worth it, right? That brings my energy levels down, to have to be able to help resuscitate them, I guess is the word, in that moment. But so I've got to put out everything that I need to put out before. I've got to start those new conversations before any of that happens. Because if something like that happened and I didn't reach out to 5 new people that day, I'm not going to feel like reaching out to 5 new people. So you've got to do all of that stuff beforehand. So, man, time flies too much when you're having fun. Who would have thought that you could have a career and a job where time flies by? Right? My 10 years of work before this, like I looked at the clock and it was so slow. And now I'm like, shoot, we're 41 minutes in. I got to find a way to do the rest of what I have in 20 minutes. Right? So that leads me into my next thing, bringing that up. You have to find what you love about this. Don't try to be Megan Gutke or Gina Hunter or Brigitte Linford or Scottie Hobbs. Because if you're doing that, you're not going to be able to be your true self. When you're your true self, you're going to attract people that are like you, and you're going to be more dialed in. So make sure that you emulate their activities or their mindset or the energy that they bring, but you do it with your own personality and work on becoming the best version of yourself. And make sure that as you do this as well, this journey, you don't play the comparing game. You don't say, hey, why did Jeff Vance go diamond in 2 weeks and I haven't recruited one coach yet? If you do that, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're not going to hit diamond at all because you're too focused on what other people are doing and not focused on how can I grow myself? How can I add and contribute value to other people? So that's where your focus has to be. How can I grow myself? How can I contribute to somebody else? And if you're going for diamond this month, into April, it's not 2 people a day. It's like how I would raise the bar to like 10 a day. How can I add value to 10 people today? So I was going to go through this huge list of things that you need to do, but I don't want to overwhelm. I want to keep this simple for you guys. How many of you guys like simple? Okay. So I'm going to put some perspective. I put a little post from Bonnie Engel into the group. And make sure if you haven't had time to read it, that you read that. And I'm going to use a personal example. I'll use my grandpa. I don't know all the details of it, but my grandpa left Broadway Ford to become his own business owner, to build a garage and to fix cars out of his own garage. And like he did that ever since I was a little kid. So he did that his entire life. Like that, you have to, there's so much overhead, right? You've got to buy your tools. You've got to have all of this stuff. You've got to get out and without social media in the time and find customers and add value to these customers, give them good service so that they go out and tell their friends. And that's how your business grows. And there's months when nobody's car breaks down and nobody comes in and you have no money, right? So think about that. And the example that Bonnie shared of like starting the brick and mortar business that they started, and you have to imagine having to hire employees and, figure out pay their insurance and everything that's involved with owning a business, paying your electrical bill, your light bill, keeping the shop open. I know Megan's dad owns a business. Like that is a lot of work and it takes a ton of time. And the majority of these businesses takes like 5 to 6 years to break a profit, to be profitable. Right? And I guarantee, I have a task for you guys. I know each one of you guys knows somebody that owns a business. Like I'm talking about an older person that's been in business for like 20, 30 years. I want you to find them and I want you to have a phone call with them or take them out to lunch and ask them about what it took for them to build their business and how long it took them, if they took any debt, how long it took for them to be profitable, like how much work they had to go through to make that a profitable business. And then I want you to tell them about how much training you have, how many people you have encouraging you and saying like, and giving you all their tips and tools and secrets on how to do this, and see what they think about that. Does that make sense what I want you guys to do? Mm-hmm. Because I can guarantee you, like Bonnie said, it would blow their minds. Like if my grandpa was still here and I could tell him that I have all these people telling me every secret they have on how to build a successful business, and I can do it for $15.95 a month business fee and my internet, he would be like, it would blow his mind. But that's how easy it is. So where I'm saying I say easy, but it's not going to be easy, but we need to put things in perspective a lot of times of what it really takes to be an entrepreneur. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take working harder than anybody else. And if you were listening to Eric Thomas as we got this call started, he's talking about like what sets apart, like he mentions like if you're at the top or if you're at the bottom, you're brand new, right? And you want to get to the top, what's it going to take? And he talks about it's going to take education, reading, studying, learning. And the same thing goes for the person that's at the top. If you're Lindsay Matway or myself or Megan Gucky or any of these coaches that have gotten it, you can't just ride on that success. You got to show up every single day for that. So it's like, I'll just say Walmart, a horrible example. Let's say I'm the CEO of Walmart and it's just starting. Like once I get that store up and running, like I hustled my butt to get that store up and going. Can I just walk away and say, and hope it works? Would that owner do that? Would the owner of Starbucks or Uber or any of these, could they just walk away and say, we've made it, we've made millions, I'm going to walk away? They can't do that. So I think that's where we need to grasp that mindset. And that's why I do so much personal development. We got to look outside of Beachbody coaching sometimes at like what it takes to really be an entrepreneur, because that's what this is. You have to hustle. You have to set goals. You have to hustle. You have to lose sleep. You know, and like Eric Thomas says, sometimes you got to want to succeed more than you want to breathe at times, right? Like that's how hard you have to want it. So my family by no means has any type of financial struggle, right? But I hustle every single day because I'm never sending my kids back to a daycare, right? And I think about all these things, like I do it because like I never want to start over. Like this is a hard business. I never want to lose people's trust and then have to try to regain all of that back. And if I stopped for even a month, I lose some trust because I told people I will show up every day for my business. So that's the mindset I have as an entrepreneur. It'd be like any of you guys that are currently in a career, in a job, and your boss is telling you need to work hard, you need to show up on time. What happens if your boss just took off for 2 weeks because he was feeling like crap or he got in a bad mood? What would happen to everybody in that business, in that company? Yeah, I know what's going to happen. You're going to slack off. You're going to start playing games on your computer. You're going to wander around and visit with your friends at work a little bit more and work less hard. That's what happens when the leader doesn't show up anymore. So you've got to make the decision right now that you are going to be the person that shows up. Okay? And if you guys are pushing for diamond, I'm going to have you guys, and I can't hold you to this, right? I can't have any control over what you guys do, but I want you guys to give yourself like a solemn vow. Okay? And this is going to be hard for many of you guys to do. But it's one I took to myself. I could tell people that I'm still going to be hitting Success Club 10 in 9 years when my daughter's old enough to sign up as a coach. Okay? Like that's what I've decided. That's the way I'm going to show up. And to do that, I have to show up and do the daily activities that I showed you guys at the beginning. And no one's going to motivate me to do that. Lindsay's not going to call me out if I only have Success Club 8 1 month. You know, nobody's going to call me out on that. So I have to call myself out on making that commitment to myself and staying true to that value and that commitment that I make. So what I want from you guys is you guys are going for diamond right now, right? All of you guys in building your team. So that means you're going to have coaches on your team, personally sponsored coaches that you recruit into your team. And I don't get upset or pissed off often, but I do. I do at times, and I'll tell you when. It's when somebody says they're going to do something, and then they involve other people in it, and then when life gets hard for them, they leave those people behind. You guys get what I'm saying here? And I see one person shaking their head, and I know because they have a specific example of that in their life. So what I'm saying is, if you guys are going for diamond, you better be committed for life because you're bringing 8 lives into this company and this business that count on you to show up and show them how. Okay? And I know we'll all slip and make mistakes, but make sure that you catch that fast and you get yourself on track with what your priorities and your values are, because these people are going to count on you. Okay? It'd be like if I was a brand new coach and I see all 60 of you guys on here and I'm like, guys, these programs work. You guys trust in me. You're some of my closest friends. We're going to build this business and this company together. You know, I can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, but I promise to do it myself and to learn everything I can and teach you. And I will always show up willing to grow and learn to help you guys and give you guys tools to help you guys achieve that. Now, how many, and let's just say this is like a big opening of a company, and I bring 500 people, and you guys are the ones that said, I'm in with you. And we're having this conversation. I say, I will always be here. How would you guys feel if 6 months from now or 3 months from now, life gets hard for me, maybe a family member of mine gets a sickness, or I get one, or something happens, and I'm like, I just say, that's it. Like, this is too hard. I quit. And I just say, hey, sorry guys, you're on your own. I'm out. Like, how would that make you guys feel? Not very good. Not very good, right? So I want you guys to make that commitment. You guys are in this. If you're going to be pushing for this, that you guys are in this, that you guys, you don't have to be the elite top 10 coach. You don't have to be Success Club 20 a month, but that you are always working on becoming better, that you're working on bettering yourself with your own transformation. You're doing more personal development so you can help other people, and that you're being that example for all those people that trusted in you. Can I get that commitment from you guys with a raise of your hands? Okay. Because I love helping people, but there's so many people that have gotten left behind that I have to take under my wing as an example and the coach. And I'm more than always willing to do the best that I can at doing that. But I want them to look up to you. They trusted in you to join this company and this business. And so I want you to be that person for them. And it doesn't mean you have to be, like I said, a top 10. It's just that you are striving every day to become better and to be the example for them. So I think I did pretty good. So what I'm going to do, and some of you guys have heard these questions before, I'm going to leave you guys, because you're going to have to take ownership of your own business to be able to become this leader, to lead your team. But just know we have all the tools and trainings for you guys, right? So I have some questions that I want you guys to answer every single day of your career. And the first one is, what is your why and your reason? Why is it that you do what you do? I want you to go over these every night. It's not what you do. It's like, I run challenge groups. I have goals. They like Success Club 5 and to hit Emerald, and I help train my coaches. That's what you do. Why is it that you do what you do? So that's the first one. The second one is, what's your IQ level? And IQ level means to me, I quit level. At what level do you quit fighting for your purpose, your reason, and your why? How hard is this going to get when you're like, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm not willing to grow anymore. I'm going to go back to my cubicle and spend the next 30 years. Right? So what is your IQ level? Next one is, who do I need to associate with today to grow? We're going to do an awkward round of applause for you guys. You guys are associating with people today that will help you grow, right? So you're doing that one today. So recognize that in yourself. That's a success. But who do I need to associate with today to grow? And then the next one that I have for you. So what is that? I want you guys to think about that. There's tons of people that, here's what I'll say. There's tons of people for you to learn and grow from in your upline, in the Diamond Push group, just being around them. But I want you guys to know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Okay? I want you to think about that. If you're the smartest person in the room or in the group, you're in the wrong group. It's good for you to be there to mentor those that are where you're at, that need to get to where you're at. But if that's all you're doing, you're going to get exhausted, because you need to be somewhere where you can get from somebody else, right? That's someone that can add value to you as well. And the next one is, what am I willing to sacrifice? And mine was a ton of sleep. It was playing Call of Duty. It was playing softball with Scott and Megan. I think one of the biggest one, my love language is words of affirmation. I like to feel accepted by everybody. And so probably the biggest sacrifice I had to make was the acceptance of ignorant people that didn't understand why I was doing this. And I know Scott and Megan don't remember this, and they weren't the ones that did it, but when I made a flyer with my before-after picture and took it to softball game. And, Scott was my coach, and he encouraged me and all that stuff. And when I told him I wasn't going to play anymore, but I invited people to come work out with us. And so I could introduce Beachbody. And every single one of them said stuff like, I don't need to see this crap, crumpled it and threw it in the garbage can. Right? So I had to sacrifice acceptance from ignorant people that didn't understand what I was doing or the impact that it could make. So that's the sacrifice I had to make. So make sure that you understand the sacrifices that you're going to have to make in order to build this business. Doesn't mean that we're not friends anymore. I just had to choose the people that I needed to spend time with that would help me grow and move towards where we wanted to go. And this is the most important one. Who's counting on you to make this happen? Right now it's Diamond, right? But your bigger picture, like Diamond, like I said, is the first story of a 100-floor building that we're going on right now. Okay. So who is counting on you to make it happen? And I'm going to get somebody, I'll tell you mine as I close out, but Lauren, I've seen you doing a lot of head nodding, agreeing with the baseball cap on. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, I unmuted you. Who's counting on you to make this happen, this business?
Well, first of all, myself, I'm counting on myself to not let me down. And then my team and my son. I have a 10-year-old, and I'm doing this to get out of where we've always been in our life. And so,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a big enough reason. So
it's huge.
It's a huge reason, and I love that. I'm going to ask you a question. So it sounds like you've had some struggles in the past, raising him, and with work. Is it with work? What have been the struggles you've been facing?
The struggles now, or my struggles in the past?
In the past, leading up till now as well.
Very different.
Yeah.
My struggles in the past were just my circumstances. I come from a lot of past. I'm a recovering addict, and so I had to overcome a lot of those things. Basically, survive. I've been surviving. And then having a son and being a single mom has been all survival. And it's been scary, and doing it all by myself. And lots of fear. Fear has always run my life. So this business has taught me to look at all of those things and stand up for myself and do what I believe in. And it's put me in front of myself. This business has shown me more about myself than I've learned in the 11 years in my recovery, because it's like, okay, you want this, Lauren? Well, this is what you have to do. You got to face your shit. Sorry. And get on there and do it. You know, whether I want to or not, whether I like it or not, whether it's uncomfortable or I'm scared.
Awesome.
And I look at my kid every day and I'm like, okay, you're my why. This is my reason. And I'm not going back to how I used to live, you know?
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So that was awesome. Isn't it crazy how likes attract likes? Like my past was overcoming addiction and all that, and surviving with sending my wife to work, taking over every overtime shift. So that's awesome. And it puts you in front of yourself. Once you can learn who you are and embrace that, you realize that you're much more than you thought. And that when you just accept that and share that with the world, people are inspired by that, and they begin to discover that about themselves. That's how this team is built, right? So I'm going to ask you another question, Lauren. Sorry, I'll put you back. So 10 plus years of trying to survive. So let's say this business takes you to get to a point where you need it, to where you're not just surviving, let's say thriving. And by thriving, I don't mean a millionaire. I mean, thriving means like you don't worry about bills. You don't worry about if you can spend time with your son. You don't worry about if he wants to go to a certain school or anything that you provide for him. So let's call that thriving. So even if it took you 5 years of 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, working on this on yourself, facing yourself, helping other people do that for 5 years straight, worth it, right? Is that something that would be worth it?
Absolutely.
Never have to worry about a job or anything. So tell me, what will it cost you emotionally, physically, financially if you don't wait 5 years?
If I don't do that?
Yeah. What does the next 30 years of your life look like if you don't do that?
I'm not even willing to stay where I am now. I mean, I have a roof over my head, warm clothes, I have food, I have all those kind of things, and I can take care of my son, but it's just barely enough. I'm constantly struggling, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. And I've just made the decision. I don't want to it would be letting myself down, because it's not what I want. it's not my goals. It's not aligned with what I really want. So
awesome. Not aligned with your morals and the standards of what you want to expect from
nope. I made a decision that this is what I want. Helping other people is something I want to do anyway for life, and to have people not ever feel like how I felt in my life, and to help them out of that and any kind of suffering or anything like that. So
awesome.
And this is it. This is
I'm going to ask you another question. I'm on it. Let's say you're a brand new coach right now and you have 0 coaches, 0 challengers. Do you think it's possible to find 8 people? Let's say 12, because you need 2 emeralds, which means they have a couple coaches, and you need 8 personally sponsored coaches. Do you believe it's possible in the next 30 days to find enough to find that amount of women? Let's just say just women. 12 women that are similar to you, that have struggled like you are, that are looking for an answer and want to feel like you're feeling right now. Have nothing to do with making money. Absolutely.
Yeah. You could find that in a day. If you just went outside your door, even without Facebook, and you went to the store, the coffee shop, we are everywhere. We're everywhere. People that need help. And we want it. People like us out there that want it, they're just waiting for the answer. So, and with social media, like you said, there's no excuse. It's right there. You can connect with hundreds of people a day.
Absolutely. Okay, I love it. And I like that you mentioned that, because I get to end on that. Gabby's coming to say goodbye. Say hi to Gabby.
Hey, guys.
So to end that out, I like the one thing you said, Lauren, about like your values and the standards you set for yourself. And I'm like I said, we're on a big Eric Thomas. He just kind of, he gets me, hip hop preacher. Like, he gets me going in the morning, like fires, because I'm like real introverted and quiet. So it gets me like in the groove, right? Ready to help come out and do this, like to create that energy. Because some of the other ones I love what I learned, like Simon Sinek and John C. Maxwell, but it's just real low key. So I need that energy from Eric. But one thing that he says is, like, he asks, like, why are you giving 50%? And I believe many of us are only given 50%. We're not doing nowhere near what we could be doing. And it's all about raising our standards for ourselves, of doing, like, not just settling for doing the average, but going after like everything that you possibly can. And I think to be a successful entrepreneur, which is what I want from you guys, is that you go at it at that level, of massive action, of growing yourself. And when you wake up today, not saying like, oh crap, like that diamond date's coming up and I got to reach out to a couple people today, and man, I'd really like to take a nap, but that calls at 12:30 or whatever. Instead of taking that mindset, like, wake up every single day, like, what is my purpose? How can I grow today, and who can I reach out and add value to today? Like, if you take that at a massive level in action every single day, for the rest of your career, you're going to make changes. And I need you guys, like, yes, we're trying to build a business and become diamond and strong leaders. And that involves selling challenge packs, hitting Success Club, recruiting coaches, and all those technical terms, right? But you've got to look much bigger. Like, just an example, and I don't mean this in a way to toot my horn, but I look at, like, I'm following up with a guy that I believe can be the next huge band, right? He's not anywhere near interested in Beachbody coaching, but I'm mentoring him and teaching him things that can help him, get their music out and get their message out on a bigger level. I have a challenger that bought Shakeology one time in a challenge pack and never ordered it after, but has lost a ton of weight. And I invited her to a coach sneak peek. She watched the webinar. She had a phone call with me. And she's like, nah, I just don't think that's for me. And I'm like, that's okay. But the coolest thing I'm going to tell you guys, when I say look bigger picture, she is right now has completely remodeled her basement, left her job, and she's running a daycare. And it's all because of what I've been talking to her about and teaching her about spending time with your kids and not working for somebody else. So, like, I think a lot of times we're so focused on the short-term result, and we're like, well, shoot, she didn't want to be a coach. Like, this is not working. But looking at the bigger picture of giving somebody what they want. She didn't want to be a coach, but she wanted time with her kids. So you still add value and teach them and encourage them to go after that. She may be a coach in 2 years, right? or 3 years, you got to look much bigger. It's all about helping people get what they want in that time. So my challenge to you as we go forward, remember at the beginning, I had you guys write a list. That's those people that Lauren said are out there that they're praying for something, and they're going to have their shield up because everybody acts like everything's okay in life. They're going to have a front, they're going to have a shield, and those are just objections that they throw out from the beginning. But it's going to take you getting your focus off of, even though we do have the goal of Diamond and Success Club, getting your focus off of that and genuinely finding out what they need and asking questions so you can find out what they need and then offer them a solution, and asking them hard questions too, right? You notice I asked Lauren a hard question. I don't even know Lauren in person, but I'm used to asking people hard questions. Like, Lauren, what's it going to cost you? So if I was recruiting Lauren to my team and she's like, I'd like to do that coaching thing, but I just don't know if I have enough time, or I don't know how to use Facebook, or I don't have money, right? Those are the things that we hear. I would still ask Lauren that same question. If she told me she has been only surviving and she wants more for her and her daughter, I would ask her that question. What's it going to cost you, Lauren, if you don't do this now? What's it going to cost you 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if you continue just surviving, right? So you ask those hard questions to people to help them, like Lauren said, start facing themselves. No one asks them those hard questions. And then they're going to be 40 years from now like, holy crap, my life just passed. And I never did what I wanted to do. I never really enjoyed life. I never really spent the time with my kids. So it's our job to help people face themselves. And we can do that by asking them those questions. And that's what you can do as an entrepreneur and a leader to your new coaches, your emeralds, your diamonds, and your prospects is always do that. Grow yourself and contribute to them by asking them questions that are going to help them begin to take action on their lives. So how many of you guys are going diamond in this group? I want to see it. And I want you guys to all push. I know for a fact that not all of you guys will be diamonds, but I do know for a fact that if you show up and apply the things that we're teaching you, you don't have the mindset that will take you to diamond, in a month, 2 months, 3 months after, if you continue doing the steps and things that we're going to teach you. So realize that, I've gone from 15 star diamond like 20 times, but I'm never going to tell myself I'm a failure, right? Because that's all a part of it. So as we leave, I want to make sure there's no questions in here. Okay. Let me see what time. Oh, we went over. So I'm going to let you guys get back to your inviting and to your list. And remember, as we go through this, watch what you're doing with your phones, how much time you just click Facebook and scroll it or click the notification button. If you're doing that, you're not focused on growing yourself and contributing to other people. So let's get focused on those things. And then remember, it's going to take showing up. For this diamond thing, you guys are going to have to work 7 days a week, many of you guys. And you're going to have to add a couple hours onto what you're already doing, but not hours of scrolling Facebook, hours of focused work. You guys down for that challenge? Okay. All right. We'll see you guys in the group. And remember, if you need like a coach up video or anything like that, share in the group. That's what it's for. That's to mastermind and share ideas together. So this will be marked as unlisted and on my YouTube channel. So no one can see it except the people in the group that have the link. So I'll post the group in a link. I'll create a little file in there. And if any of you have coaches on here that didn't show up or couldn't make it because of work, make sure that they listen to this. Okay. We'll see you guys later. Have an incredible day.